Waiting for it to pop up on YouTube here. There we go. All right, perfect. We are live both on Instagram and YouTube for the first time in the new studio. What's up, guys? Welcome. Welcome back to our daily live feed. And before we get into this, if you would like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing. All the fun stuff when it comes to competing. We have some people on over here on Instagram, and then we have people on over on YouTube as well. So either one you can jump onto. And I always give it a few minutes for everybody to get logged on so that we can get moving and rolling through the results of the Arnold. We do have quite a few new people that are jumping in on this. So these are interactive. So as we go through each division and we talk about, the things that we want to touch on, that is your opportunity to ask your questions, put in your 2 cents, all of those kinds of things as well. So welcome, you guys. Welcome. Yes, happy Women's Day. Absolutely. Women's Empowerment Day. I still have my voice like bouncing off the walls in here. So it's weird. I just ordered a bunch of soundproofing stuff for this room so that it will not echo so bad. Welcome, you guys. We started on this Arnold topic a little bit yesterday, and we're going to continue with it today. And I did have up the scorecards. I'll do that again. Pull that up. There we go. We'll give it another minute and then we'll roll into this. And I'm just going to kind of give you my 2 cents. Now, because we're going to be reviewing every division tonight, I'm not going to go into super depth on each competitor. So that's typically what I do on these BSPNs is we'll go through each competitor individually. Good points, bad points, things like that for each division. But again, we have 4 divisions to touch on tonight. So I'm just going to touch on each one and talk about some significant aspects of each one, that kind of thing. So tonight, we're going to start talking about fitness. So we don't cover fitness very often because there's not a whole lot of fitness shows. But obviously, when you get into the Olympia and the Arnold, that's when you've got the best of the best in the fitness division. So this was actually a really cool show for fitness. I don't know if there's a replay of the Arnold. I would assume they're probably going to be. And if there's not, I'm assuming there's going to be clips and stuff that are released over time is what I would guess. So I don't know. So it was between Ariel Kadar, who is the youngest IFBB pro ever. I believe she won her pro card when she was 17. And then Missy Truscott. So Missy won the Arnold in September this past year. So she was the defending champion. But the problem is Missy actually lost the Olympia to Whitney Jones, too. So Whitney Jones got her title back. So Missy was coming off of a second place already. Ariel has been up in that top 3, top 4 mix for a while. And at this particular show, it pushed her over the edge. She actually won both the physique round and the routine round. And watching the physique round, I can see why Ariel won the physique round. Now, Missy has an incredible structure, but she always has issues with her lower half coming in condition. Her glutes were soft. And that was also the scenario at the Olympia as well. They were just too soft, and that's why she lost that round at the Olympia too. So going into this, there's a couple of little things that Missy made mistakes on, like again, Missy has an incredible shape. However, her suit bottoms, the hip straps didn't sit up high enough on her waistline. So it actually made her waistline look a little bit thicker than it could have. It could have looked a lot smaller if those hip straps were up higher. Now, Ariel was in really good condition, really good shape. I would say her structure is not better than Missy's, but because she was actually in shape and conditioned well and very well balanced in that regard, that's why I believe she took the win on the physique round. And she only beat her by 1 point, so it was very, very close. But again, the issue with Missy is the lower half, is the glutes coming in shape. Now, when it came to the routines, Ariel won it pretty handedly. with the routines. And I would agree with that based on what I saw at finals too. She just had that it factor that night. She had that energy. She had that flow. She had that wow factor with her routine. Missy's was just kind of missing a little bit. Now, Missy's was great. Don't get me wrong, but just in comparison with Ariel, it was just Ariel's was on the next level. So I'm not saying Missy's was bad. It wasn't by any stretch of the imagination. Ariel's was just better by a lot. Yeah, Ariel's routine was awesome. It absolutely was. Yeah, she did a fantastic job. So, after the routine, I thought that Ariel might pull this out. I wasn't sure at that point what the physique round, how they played out for the physique round, but considering she won the physique round as well, that gave her the win here at the Arnold. So that's pretty cool. She's I don't know how old she is now, but again, young, and she got her pro card at 17. So that's a pretty cool story that she took this long to really work hard and get up there and get that title. So now, going into the Olympia, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if Whitney Jones is going to compete. I would assume so. She's going to come back and defend her title, I would assume. But now you're going to have three winners going into the Olympia battling against each other. So it's actually going to make it really fun for fitness. Moving on to, we're going to go to figure next. Let me do figure. So no surprise here. Sydney Gillian won this. Pretty much hands down won it. Jessica Reyes Padilla in second, Lola Montez in third, and Natalia Solitero say that again. Didn't Natalia take fourth? Am I seeing that wrong? Did they put this wrong did they put this wrong on the sheet? I'm wondering. I thought that Natalia took fourth, but I'm looking at the scorecards right now, and I'm wondering if I'm just remembering wrong. Let me see. Where are the pictures? Should have the pictures right here. Yeah, I thought. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I got mixed up with my placings. Hold on. I'm looking. Pulling up the pictures. Okay. Oh, okay. I got confused. Never mind. So Nicole got fourth. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, Nicole got fourth. For some reason, I thought I saw a post or something where Natalia was saying that she was fourth, and that's what I had stuck in my head. But no, Natalia took fifth, which is a pretty big drop because she actually won this show last year, or not last year, but the year before. So, and she came in second at the Olympia. So that was a pretty big drop for her to go down to fifth. That's even worse than what I thought. I thought she was fourth. She was fifth. And in general, she just wasn't in shape. She was big. She just wasn't conditioned enough. Looked like what she probably tried to do was she probably tried to put on some size between the Olympia and the Arnold, and she just wasn't able to dial it in correctly. That's what it looked like to me. Also, when you're talking about this level of conditioning and holding it from September, October, November, December, all the way through, when you're talking about that kind of level of conditioning, it's difficult. So if she tried to just even put on a little bit of size in that time frame, then that could have been why she didn't come in shape. But yeah, it's rare that you'll see that happen, where you'll see somebody who was in second drop all the way down to fifth. I don't think it was any surprise that Sydney won this. Everybody knew she was going to, basically. But Jessica Reyes Padilla looked really good. It was like automatic when they came out on stage. You kind of knew that Jessica was going to be in second and Sydney was going to be in first. It just really was. They were the best two competitors on stage. And I think, overall, Sydney just has genetics that are really hard to beat. And Jessica's doing a really good job of trying to get there. She just doesn't have the waistline that Sydney does, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So there's only so much you can do when you're not born that way, right? I was very happy to see Lola. Yes, Lola looks very good. The top four, they all looked very similar, except for Jessica. So they were very similar in look. You know what I mean? I like the straight hair on her. Yep. Mm-hmm. And her posing was really good too. Lola's posing was really good. I liked her flair with her posing. Pull up real quick that I wanted to mention something on that. Yeah, she did kind of a modified old school bikini pose mixed with figure, and it was just really, I liked it. It worked really well with her look and her frame. It was different. I liked it. It was eye catching. I didn't recognize her without the braids at first. And then once you got outside of that top 5, you were looking at girls that were just kind of missing pieces as far as conditioning or size, or their lower half was too small or whatever. There were just pieces missing once you got outside the top 5. So I think the shock, honestly, of the figure division was Natalia. She just was not in her typical shape and in her typical condition. And that was the problem. I think she was just, and again, I don't know why, but I would assume maybe she just was trying to improve her shape since Olympia and probably just didn't make it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, you can't really, Sydney's going to be on top for a long time. Sydney's going to be on top for a long time until she decides to get off the stage. It's going to be very, very hard to beat her, just because, I mean, she puts the work in, plus she has the genetics. And I liked her suit. This is a change up for her. She's typically in more neutral colors for her suits. This one was a brighter yellows, greens, blues, that kind of thing, and worked well. Worked well for her. So I liked the brighter color on her. Thought it contrasted her skin very well. And her presentation is just next level. Again, she's done this so many times. She's won this so many times that it's just, she has that confidence. You know what I mean? It's not going nowhere. That suit was pretty. Yes, it was. It was really pretty. Yes, Sydney's suit was very, very pretty. I liked that a lot. I like the brighter colors. I'm not a big fan of the neutral colors, so I was happy to see her switch that up. I noticed Novi changed her posing. She used to do some women's physique poses in her previous routine. Yeah, and I think they've probably been told to kind of steer away from that, because the line between women's physique and figure is very blurry. I mean, it's very blurry. So you really don't want to do poses that are going to confuse that even more. You know what I mean? Yeah, Sydney's unstoppable. It just is what it is until she decides to go do something else. Y'all are going to be playing catch up. It just is. It's just, that's the deal. But yeah, I thought her overall package, I actually liked her package here better than the Olympia. And I think it comes down to because of the suit, honestly, because I'm not a huge fan of the neutrals. I like the bright colors. So, let's see. Let's go to wellness. And let's talk a little bit about wellness here. Isabel Nunes did win this, which I thought was the right call for sure, 100%. From the get-go, I thought the minute she walked on stage that this was her show. Her balance was really, really good. Her conditioning, her fullness, her look, everything was on point. Posing was on point. Everything was on point. I know a lot of people expected Angela to win it because Angela just taken second at the Olympia. And Angela looked good, don't get me wrong, but Angela has some issues with her physique that she's going to have to fix. This is something, there's been grumblings about it and rumblings about it and things like that, but there are just some things with her physique that she's going to have to fix if she ever wants to win one of these titles. You guys can probably draw conclusions to what those things are, but it's getting a little bit out of hand. And even though she has won so many shows, she needs to get that taken care of so that it looks like it's attainable. I didn't have. Okay. All right. Angela's slow and her glutes just aren't fluid. Looks off. Yes, looks off. For sure. It's just not natural. So expect to see that change. One way or another, it's going to change, whether it's her that changes or the placings are going to change, one or the other. In third, you had Sunny. I thought this was a very much improved look for Sunny. To be honest with you, when she first walked out on stage, I thought her quads were down quite a bit from the fourth place, from the last show that she was in. But then when she got into comparisons and started posing, for some reason they were back. I don't know what it was with her individual, but it was weird. It was like as soon as she walked on stage, it looked like her quads were gone, but they weren't. Her posing really did improve, and we talked about this a little bit last night, except for all of the touching. So overall, her walk, her look, her poses, everything were 1,000 times better than what she's done in the past. But the caressing and stuff like that is just too much, in my opinion. And I think that opinion was shared by quite a few people, because I saw a lot of people in the audience cringing. So we talked about this a little bit last night. What I would like to see happen is to get rid of the really suggestive movements. Other than that, I mean, like I said, everything else she did was improved. So I really, it's hard for me because I was like, I want to give her some props for definitely improving on everything. But that one piece is pretty cringe. So hopefully she got that feedback. Hopefully that gets fixed. And then we can really say, okay, this is right on. This is what you needed, right? Yeah, way too much touching. Would Sunny have placed higher for posing? No, I think Sunny was placed where she was going to be placed regardless. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So I think overall her physique deserved a fourth place. I believe that was correct. But like I said, I think in the future, if she continues to do the caressing and things like that, she's probably going to start to get docked for that. That would be my guess, because judges have come out and actually said they don't want to see that. So she's got to listen. She's got to listen to that and stop with the overtly sexual movements, right? It's just too much. Julia Chichara in fourth looked really good too. I could have made Sunny was in third. Sorry, I said that earlier too. I said that wrong. Julia, I could have made an argument for third. Looks really complete, really well balanced. Again, she was fifth at the Olympia, so this is no surprise that she would be a little bit higher here. The shock of the show was seeing Eurisha in fifth. That said, that is kind of where she deserved to be placed. Eurisha was a little bit soft. I thought her conditioning was better than the Olympia, but the problem is that her glutes aren't big enough and her legs are too big. So from the back, she just looks like a big piece of mass from the back. So what she does need to do is she needs to somehow bring her legs down and bring her glutes up. That would help to balance her quite a bit from the back, so she doesn't look quite so large from the back. Because actually, I think her conditioning was pretty good in comparison to what it was in the past. But because she was so big on the lower half, it made her look softer, right? Miss Eurisha's yellow suit. I know I like yellow. I like her blue. To be honest with you, quads were popping. I just don't want to pose too much touching. Posing coaches. You need to get posing coaches. That's where you get those tips. Eurisha kind of blended in with the darker suit. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the purple. I thought the cut of the purple was nice, but the color itself, not a huge fan. I like her better in blue. I like her blue suit the best, personally. That's me. I think on her skin tone and stuff, the blue really pops off of her. I could see, she's going into the Boston Pro this weekend, and I could see her making some improvements to her posing that would help her. I felt like she posed better at finals than she did at prejudging. What I saw at prejudging was a lot of her old muscle memory come out. And then when she got on stage at finals, I saw more of the posing that I'd seen her working on with Kim. Kim Odo is her coach. So I saw a little bit more of that posing come out at finals. So I think she just has some muscle memory in there that she needs to work on. She needs to work on fixing. I just felt like she didn't display her physique correctly. Because her legs are bigger, I think if she had her toes a little bit more forward in her back pose, that would have brought her quads down a little bit from the back and would have probably helped her glutes stand out a little bit more. Just some little teeny tiny tweaks that would help display what she has a little bit better until she's able to get back into the gym and actually fix those things. She needs to get back to the whole New York Pro package. Absolutely. 100%. I feel like her New York Pro package was her best package, hands down, 100%. I agree. Her New York Pro package was great. Right. And again, that was her blue suit. That was the one. And I told her that too. I thought that was her best look on stage. So that's where she needs to go. She needs to get back there. So, and I know her feedback was she needs to bring her legs down and her glutes up. That will help her look a whole lot more streamlined from the back. And it will also help her bring her waistline in a little bit from the front too. Because she looks a little bit thick through the front. She needs to tweak. Again, I just talked about tweaking her back pose. She needs to tweak her front pose too. She needs to twist a little bit more in both her front pose and her quarter turn. She needs to twist a little bit more. And I did see her start trying to do that a little bit more based on her finals posing. But by then it's too little too late. So it's just something she needs to work on with her conditioning, her posing conditioning. And I think just old muscle memory probably came out, and that's where we saw that. I know one of the things that I said about Euretia at the beginning before she even went into the show is she's the one that's been working, I think, the hardest to try to gain these titles. So, all she's got to do is just go back and work hard again. So I expect her to come out in Boston with some improvements. I'll be interested to see what she does in Boston. And then, the other part that I wanted to mention about this particular division is across the board, top to bottom, other than really like Isabel, everybody looked a little bit tired. Like these girls, everyone that was in this particular division have been competing all year, with the exception of a couple of them have taken a few months off. Like Isabel took a couple of months off. Like she won a show and she was done to the Olympia. That's why she looked pretty good on stage here. But, Devin's on here now. Devin can attest to the fact that she's been competing all year. And like she just said, we're tired. Everybody looks a little tired. Everybody was not at their 100% best, I believe, other than Isabel. I think Isabel was the only one that was at 100%. I think everybody else was just a little bit off. And that just is because all of these girls that competed in this particular division competed all year long to qualify for Olympia. And there's been a handful of other pros that have come in and competed here and there, but not nearly as much as these 10 girls that got on stage at the Arnold International, And when you go back and you look, like going from the Olympia that was in November to now, that's not a break. That's not time off. And now I know a lot of these girls are going to continue, and they're going to go into, Boston. They're going to go into Pittsburgh. They're going to go into New York, all of those kinds of things to try to qualify for next year. So what I'd like to see is pretty much everyone just take a little bit of time off and just refresh and revamp and come back feeling good, looking good. And then I want to also mention with Barbara. Barbara was another shock. I expected to see Barbara come in a bit higher than where she did, but she just wasn't big enough. She didn't have enough pop to her muscle. She just needs some more oomph. She's another one, again, like I said, she just looked a little tired. And while her look was pretty with the new blue suit and everything, I like her red better. Red just suits her so much better. Devin's having a seat. Devin is having a seat, which is a good thing. Devin, you need to have a seat. I watched your live from earlier. And that's the smart thing to do. The stage is always going to be there. You've got to take care of your health and your body and everything like that first. So I'm hoping that a lot of these other girls take your lead, Devin, and they decide to stay off stage too. Right? And yeah, Angela will compete with Euretia this coming weekend. Yep. And I'll be interested to see what happens there. We will do a preview of the Boston Pro too. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll do a preview of the Boston Pro. So, kudos to each one of these women that got on this wellness stage, because again, it was a long year for all of them. So, they did a really fantastic job for that inaugural year coming into the Olympia and the Arnold, and every one of them should be proud that they put as much work into it as they did. So now it's time to take a breather and come back better for this coming year, right? Hopefully we get some new wellness pros that are going to come in and do the same and just kick off this year right, you know. Last but not least, we're going to go into bikini. So finally, Laura Lee was able to win this. Laura Lee has been on the cusp for so many years of winning these titles, right? You know, she's taken second at the Olympia twice. You know, she's taken second here at the Arnold. So she was finally able to push up and over that hump and get that win. And in my opinion, she won it hands down. Prejudging, it was pretty clear at prejudging that she was in the first place position. And then they were moving Maureen and Ashley back and forth, trying to determine who was going to be in second and third. And then Issa was definitely in fourth. Yes, Laura Lee, dark horse, no more. Absolutely, yes. So I'm going to talk about Laura Lee first, and then we're going to go through the other top four here. So this was probably one of Laura Lee's most balanced packages. I still think she was a little bit hard. Like I'd like to see her a little bit softer. Her hamstrings were really etched in. But the hard part is when she comes in softer, it's almost like she's too soft. So I don't know. I think this was probably the right call, but I would still, if I was her and continuing to compete, which she is, she's going to do Pittsburgh, I would try to play with that a little bit. Now she's qualified for Olympia for next year. So this is her opportunity, whatever shows she does this year, to play with that peaking, you know, play with it a little bit. This is really, she's only been with Kim for a short period of time. You know, they need time to kind of figure out how she's going to look her best. I do think that this was probably the best look that we've seen from her in quite a while, but I don't quite think it's the best look that she can bring. I think she can bring something better. Overall, her look, her presence, her posing was phenomenal. Her confidence was next level. This was the most confident I believe I've seen her on stage, and she took over the stage when she got on stage. So from that regard, this was her show. 100%. And yeah, she did look amazing. Absolutely. So it was pretty clear. It was pretty clear from the kind of the moment she stepped on stage that this was going to be her show, you know? Do you think Arnold, Laura Lee would be Olympia Jen Dory? I don't know. That's hard to say. I can't say that because I can't put them next to each other. So I don't know about that. But like I said, I will say that this was probably the best Laura Lee we've seen in a very, very long time. Definitely the most confident, 100% the most confident. Now, talking about the confidence thing, going into second and third with Ashley and Maureen, I felt like both of them looked really good, but I felt both of them weren't quite on the confidence. Ashley's posing improved a lot. As far as her walk is concerned, her overall flow, she's been working on that a lot. I can tell it's gotten a lot better. Her front pose was off. Not sure why she posed really straight on, which was weird. She needed to twist her hips a little bit more. And it just didn't make her look her best. From the back, she looked great. So I think that's why they were flipping her and Maureen back and forth quite so much. When you look at Maureen, now Maureen's another one. I liked the blue suit on her, but I'm more of a fan of the red. I think the red fits her personality better. So hopefully she'll go back to the red. I think she's doing the Boston Pro too. So hopefully she'll go back to the red. Her presence wasn't quite there. Maureen is one of these girls that as soon as she walks on stage, you're like, wow. Like the minute she walks on stage, she's so pretty. She's so she's sexy. She takes over the stage in a really classy, sexy kind of way. And she didn't quite have that here. I think what happened with her is she probably got a little bit of the pressure to her head. I talked to her a little bit the day before and just was telling her, you know, she was one of my top 2 picks. I thought she was going to be in the top 2 and I thought she could win it. And she didn't want to say that she thought she could win it, you know, but you know, at the end of the day, when you are in the mix, you've got to believe you can win these shows. And I believe that Maureen could win these shows. She just needs to think it right here. And I felt like we kind of missed a little bit of that. Pressure got to her a little bit. When she came out at prejudging, there was that. And then she was a little bit soft from the back. And there was a little bit of tan issue on her glutes from the back. That I think is why they were flip-flopping her and Ashley. I felt like Ashley looked great from the back. Maureen looked great from the front. So they were trying to pick who was going to be in that second and third spot. She mentioned a podcast that was basically a brain fart. She tried it for finals. Ashley's posing was amazing this time around. Sorry, I'm missing comments. Hang on a second. She wasn't sure why she posed that way on their podcast. Ashley looked like she was doing classic style vacuum. Love Maureen's balance so much. I wish she would have smiled with her teeth more. I don't have a problem with Maureen not smiling with her teeth more. I think that kind of works for her. That sexy look works for her. It's that smoldery look. But like I said, it takes like some fire to pull off. And I just felt like that wasn't quite there. Again, I think it's just a matter of, like, she was that girl that for the last couple of years, I've said, Maureen is the one you guys got to look out for. Like, she's coming up. She's going to take over. And I don't think anybody really knew that until she ended up fourth at the Olympia, you know? And then once she got that fourth place at the Olympia, everybody was like, oh my God, this girl's good, you know? And so now I think it's in her head a little bit. I think she's in her head a little bit. So she needs to let that go. And hopefully that old Maureen will come back out on the Boston Pro stage, right? Americans smile with their teeth. It's not as common in some other countries. Well, I like her look. I like the way she smiles. She smizes. She smiles with her eyes. I think it's sexy. I think it works really, really well for her. And it's not overboard sexy either. So I think it works really good for her. But when they came back for finals, I felt like at finals, Maureen was better. I felt like Ashley looked the same. And I felt like Maureen looked better. She looked better from the back. She definitely did. So I don't know if they rejudged at finals or not, but if they did, then that's why I could see, you know, Maureen ended up in that second place position over Ashley, just because she came back better. And then Issa was in fourth, which I pretty much expected was going to happen. Issa looked really good. I have to hand it to her. This is probably the best I've seen her in a while, but her body is just unbalanced. Her glutes, she's overpowering in her glutes, and her upper body is down. So when you look at her, she's lower half dominant. And it's not like she's wellness. She's not wellness. She just has a lot of glute. So, you know, her posing at prejudging, she really did a pretty extreme pose to make her glutes pop more. When she came back for finals, she toned that down, which she probably should have done that at prejudging. But by finals, it was too little too late. But she just needs to go back to the drawing board. She needs to take some time off and reshape her frame. If she wants to keep her glutes that size, she needs to bring her upper body up. If she wants to keep her upper body that size, then she needs to bring her lower body down. If I was her, I would do a little bit of both. I would bring a little bit more size to the upper body and bring down the glutes a little bit. That's what I would do, and work on the posing. So it's not quite so extreme. Now, I've mentioned this to you guys before. They don't want to see this really extreme posing in bikini anymore. They want to see really basic S-curves that accentuate your natural shape and nothing too extreme, right? Smize, yes. Issa didn't look as dialed in from the glutes. Did she spill over? And yes, and that's the other thing too with Issa is that her hamstring tie-ins and stuff from the back are just not quite there. So that is also why I think she should bring her glutes down a little bit, because that would help. That would help with that. She's posing was amazing. Yes. So I think overall she just needs to, and it's not like she looks bad by any stretch of the imagination, but when you come from being an Olympia champion and an Arnold champion, and now you're placing outside of the top 5 or the bottom of the top 5, now you got some things you got to think about, you know, as far as changing stuff that you're doing. I really liked her suit. I thought the suit looked great on her. I thought her overall look with the curls and everything was really pretty. I really liked all of that, but she's got to work on reshaping her frame a little bit. Like I said, if I was her, I would just take some time off. I mean, she is qualified for life. You know, she doesn't have to get on stage over and over and over again. I would take some time off and just reshape the frame. That's what I would do. And then come back and try to bring back the look that, you know, initially won her that Olympia title, you know. And then once you got outside the top 4, then you have the rest of the girls. And everybody looked great, to be honest with you. There's nobody in this particular lineup that I looked at and was like, oh, she shouldn't be on that stage. You know, like, that was a good thing. Everybody was in shape. Everybody looked good. Everybody was on point at this show. So, like I mentioned with the wellness girls all looked a little tired. That was not the case here with the bikini girls. So I felt like everybody brought a really good competitive package. There were certain things that each one of them could have done a little bit better, but I wanted to, kind of stop at the top 4 because that was our first call out right there. So any questions that you guys had over the results that you saw? Or how the call outs went, or whatever it might have been. Anything that you guys had questions about, maybe something we didn't talk about last night when we went into all this stuff. Felt like there was something that somebody asked last night, but I can't remember what it was that I said I was going to answer today. I think it might have been about Sunny's posing. I can't remember. Jordan looked so healthy, but also on point. She looked fresh. Jordan looked great. Yeah, Jordan looked great. This was a much better package than what she brought at the last Arnold. I know she'd mentioned that the last Arnold, she wasn't happy with her package that she brought, but this one was much, much better. Much, much better. Absolutely. Zeus's back pose off. I'm not sure because I was watching the pay-per-view, but it seemed very bent, if that makes sense. She was very arched. Yes, she was very arched. Again, going back to the fact that she needs to rework her shape and rework her posing. Yep. She was very arched. But even just in real life, because I saw her working out when I was at the gym, in real life, her lower body is just very dominant. Her glutes are very dominant over her upper body. So she's got to, some posing tweaks will help. Not bending quite so much will help. But she needs to reshape that. She needs to reshape her lower half for sure. Any other questions? Overall, it was very competitive, Arnold, across the board. It was a very competitive Arnold, which was good to see. This was the first time that we were back to pretty much normal. The expo was fantastic. It was not as big as how it typically is. It was not as full as how it typically is, but I actually liked it that way. It was not overwhelming. For those of you that have been there to the Arnold before, it can get very overwhelming at times when there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people crammed in there. I was actually able to go around and talk to people and not feel like my voice was gone by the end of the weekend. I wasn't screaming over everyone. So it was nice. It was cool. It was good. Allison's posing and stance in the lineup looked very awkward. Did you notice that? Allison's posing does need work. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Just again, she has that extreme posing that Issa had. No more extreme posing. No more extreme posing. That will get you docked. That will absolutely get you docked. So got to be careful with that, you guys. If you're looking at posing from like a couple of years ago where some girls were posing more like figure, we had to bring Jasmine's posing down this past year because she was posing like that. And she was posing like that because Issa was posing like that. And it just became a trend that way. And it's definitely turned back around, specifically since the Arnold in September. That's really when the judges nailed it. And they were like, you guys have to stop this. It was just across the board needs to be more of an S curve versus really extreme X frame posing, because that's too figure. It's too much like figure when you go to the X frame. Yeah. Any fun speculative Olympia predictions based on this weekend show so far? Nope. Not going to give any Olympia predictions right now because we don't know who's going to be qualified for anything or who's even going to be in or who's going to be out. Maybe people may not actually compete, so have no idea at this point. We have a year. We have the Olympia is not even until December. So we have a full year basically of qualifications to go for Olympia. I know we were talking about the women, but I was surprised William didn't win. I was not. He couldn't control his waistline. So that was the differentiator between William Bonek and Brandon Curry was the waistline. It was fun. The slapping competition on Saturday was a little strange, but overall the expo and show experience was so enjoyable. Yeah, I didn't watch the slap fighting, so I didn't see that. What was I doing on Saturday? Oh, I had a business meeting during that time frame, so I was not there for the slap fighting. So I didn't see that. How did Phoebe look? I wish she would have placed higher. Phoebe looked tired. She had a hard time from her last show coming out of that prep. So she wasn't quite dialed in, right? She probably needed some more time off. Honestly, she probably needed more time off. I thought her stage presence was great, but she just wasn't her best. Just wasn't her best. But yeah, going back to the William and Brandon thing. I mean, William looks great except for his midsection. So, I mean, immediately, like, if you know anything about them talking about they're going to penalize bubble guts and things like that, he couldn't hold his stomach in. So, how did Urs look? I think he'll be an Olympia champ in a couple of years. Yeah, he just needs some time. He looks amazing. He just needs some time. That's all. Is Lauren really be fuller? She's beautiful. Yeah, Lauren needs to take some time off and grow. Absolutely. No, we don't know who's competing in Olympia this year for bikini. Again, it's a year out basically. Back to Williams for a second. Angela looks hunched over in her front pose and a little from the live stream to look that way in person. I don't think she looked hunched over. No, not in my opinion. Yeah, Lauren just needs time off, which is what she's going to do. She's taking time off. Absolutely love Lauren's new posing and confidence, but yeah, so funny seeing it in person. It looks on the top of the top. Yep. So Lauren just needs some time to fill back out and grow. Again, a lot of these girls really pushed very, very hard last year going into the Olympia and then didn't have a whole lot of time off from the Olympia to the Arnold. So a lot of them were tired, Lauren being one of them. Lauren had a very long season last year. She started out in April with a Clash, which she won, and then did Pittsburgh, did a couple other shows in there too, did Olympia, did a couple shows after Olympia, trying to qualify for Olympia this coming year, and missed it. A couple placings were up placing. And so had no time off to make improvements. So at this point, I know she's going to take time off and make some improvements. I know that's on her plan for sure. Yeah, actually her boyfriend sat with us at prejudging. So anything else? Any other questions? Yeah, overall the girls all looked great though. Like I said, I mean, it was very competitive. It was very competitive across the board. So they did a really good job. And like I said, with the wellness, all the girls just need some time to rest and recoup, basically. I'll be interested to see how Boston goes this weekend, and we'll preview Boston tomorrow. Any other questions, guys? Okay, well, as we're wrapping up here, it was a really, really good Arnold. I had a blast, had a lot of fun, got a lot of work accomplished, got a lot of things rolling. We'll have some things to talk about very, very soon in that regard. So I'm very excited about what we're doing this year. How much time off is enough? It's probably individual, but these top girls, it's really individual. Some girls will be fine with a couple of months. Some girls need more. There is a live stream for Boston, yes. And I believe they're only charging $10. I think it's like $9.99 for Boston. Yeah, it's actually really inexpensive. Yep. For those of you that are my clients, my local clients, I've told you guys, I'm in the new house now. It's the new studio. So if you're coming in on Saturday, need the new address. So we'll be getting that out to you here the next day or so that you know where you're going for posing on Saturday. But yes, there is a live stream. Yep. There's something else I was going to mention, and I can't remember what it was. I don't know. SWS, yes. Is that this weekend? I don't even know. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Let me look. I'll pull up my calendar. We have one this weekend? Let's see. Where's my calendar? Yeah, we do. We have one this weekend. We have one this Sunday. I saw you finally watched Laura Lee's. Yeah, I went over after the live feed last night. I went and checked out Laura Lee's YouTube. I was like, oh, yeah, I am in there. Oh, that's funny. Thanks so much for doing these amazing in-depth lives. Look forward to each and every one of them. You're welcome. Thank you for these. Yes, we do. All the days are already starting to blend together, you guys. This is what happens once we get into the season. Plus, with the moving situation, like I'm back and forth between my old townhouse and my new house now every day, like 2-3 times a day, getting stuff over here. So everything's blending together. Plus, I'm in prep. Plus I'm growing my business, plus I'm making new business deals, plus I'm doing, all this other stuff. Like it's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining by any stretch of the imagination. It is fantastic. We have some amazing things coming up this year. It's just a lot sometimes. It's just a lot sometimes. And guys, I am sweating my ass off. I took those sweat sticks during my workout. I did my workout right before this, the whole sweat like Edela thing from Project AD. So I took one of those and I am pouring sweat while I'm sitting here right now. I know you can't see it on my face, but if you could touch my back right now, it is a mess. Like it is a sweaty, gross mess. So I have all of the things. Yes, I have all of the things. Yes. Good luck on the move and the big congrats on the new digs. Thank you. Jen reminded me about SWS this weekend. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll make sure that I mention that on my lives coming up this week as well. I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in my studio and stuff too. It's a little odd. Like I've got stuff set up, but it's not really quite fully there yet. So I feel a little bit off still. So it's just a little weird all the way around. Plus I'm sweating bullets while I'm sitting here. I swear, I don't know if you can see this, but my pants are soaked. Like they're literally soaked on the band right here. Oy. Thank you for this disappointment. I love it. Yes, thank you for reminding me to get a pack of the sweat sticks again. Oh my god, I'm dying, you guys. I'm sweating so bad. If it has UVB in it, it'll keep you sweating. I don't know what is in it, but I'm sweating my ass off, like legit sweating while I'm sitting here this whole time. Taking those hit me after the work, and I was sweating while I was cooking dinner. Yeah, that's for me. That's what happens. It doesn't really bother me during the workout. It hits me it's the way I do my workouts is I do my lifting, then I do my posing, then I do my cardio. So it usually hits me while I'm doing my posing, which is what happened. It hits me during the posing, and then I'm sweating my ass off during my posing and also during my cardio, and while I'm sitting here talking to you. Project Shreddable made me sweat so much. I thought I was going to die. It was great. I love it. Y'all got to start with a half stick at first. That sweating won't stop on a full stick. Well, the first time I took it on the full stick, that it didn't hit me at all until I got home. And I'm just sitting there on the couch, and I was like pouring sweat, just sitting there on the couch, and I'm like, oh my god. I was like, this is weird. Now I've kind of got it figured out, as far as when it's gonna hit me and all that kind of stuff. So I figured that out. But I'm just, man, I'm sweating like a freaking pig right now. Sweating like more in church. Anyway, that's how I'm sweating. You waited all weekend to finish the athlete search. I love it. That's funny. It looks like it does. There you go. It's the ingredient that causes sweats. Yeah. Well, that's what it is. About these sticks you speak of. I'll bring you one. Don't blame me afterwards. I know, right? They're sweat sticks by Project AD. So, yeah, they're legit. They're legit. Oh man, I can feel it on the back of my neck. I'm like, oh, I need a shower so bad. Oh my god. Anyway, but it's good. It's especially when you're in prep, you get to sweat out all the toxins and any kind of excess bloat you might have or water or whatever. Feels good at the end of it once it's done. Just sweaty mess in the meantime. Okay, that was enough talk about sweat. Anyway, don't give me a dirty look when they kick in. I take my caffeine. That's funny. Yeah, I take it with the pre-workout. So yeah, I get you going for sure. So and it tastes like Pop Rocks. So I don't even put it in water. I just shoot it like Pop Rocks. It's actually really good. So you have to try it. Anyways, on that note, we will be back on again tomorrow night. And tomorrow night we will preview Boston. We'll preview the Boston show lineup. They're small lineups, but they're pretty deep. It's a pretty good list. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. So we'll talk about all that tomorrow night. Yep, it tastes so good. It does. It's actually really good. It tastes really good. So, all right. If nobody has any other questions, then this was almost an hour long. So that's why I didn't want to go in depth with each competitor. We would have been here for 5 years. So, I'm like a drug dealer. You want? You do sound like a drug dealer, a sweat stick, right? Yes. All right, you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening tonight. Michelle, yeah, Boston Pro, yes. We might see. See, it's so hard with these early shows. Like if it was in the middle of, if it's in the middle of the summer or something, I would say yeah, we'll see some people jump in, but there's nothing else coming up. You know what I mean? So I would be surprised. We may get one or two, but I doubt it. I doubt it at this point. Plus, nobody wants to go to Boston in March. Everybody was asking me if I was going to go. I'm like, who wants to go to Boston in March? Like, come on. They did Boston in like May. Absolutely, I'd go. Yeah, but not in March. It's gonna freaking snow or some shit. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. It was treacherous enough going to Ohio. You never know what you're going to get in Columbus, but at least in Columbus, you know that everything's inside the convention center. You never have to go outside. So there's that. But Boston in March, I could get snowed in this weekend. That's Boston for you, right? Anyway, like I said, all these northern shows, they should do them in the spring and the summer, man. Do them in the spring and the summer. Get caught in the ice, right? Yeah. But it's unpredictable. Yeah, it is. It's unpredictable. That's the whole thing. Like, actually, Arnold wasn't bad. It was nice the majority of the time. I walked outside every day, to go to the gym. So it actually was not bad. But some years it's freaking snowing and snowstorms. Like last year, the 2019 was snowstorms, So I think they made Boston. Did they? A tier 1 show? That's interesting. PTSD from the snow and the beetle. Right? I know. PTSD from going off the freaking rails in the bug. But yeah. Yeah, I flew this time because the flight was only $130 round trip. I can't even fill up my gas tank for that anymore. Talking about snow Saturday here. Fucking hell. I was outside. Sorry, my language. I was outside in a tank top today, and it was snow on Saturday. Come on, man. Oh. Oh, my goodness gracious. I love it. I'm glad you guys are all saying hi in here, too. It was fun to see everybody in Ohio, too. So Shanika was there. So we all got to hang out pretty much both nights, Friday and Saturday. So that was fun. Hung at the bar and had some laughs. And, they came to the Project AD booth and all that stuff, too. So what the fuck, snow this weekend? Can't take this anymore. I know, right? Oh, my God. I know. Anyway. I literally just laughed out loud if you were actually snow. I know. I don't want snow. No. Especially now that I'm in this new house. I don't want snow right now. We're still moving. We did so much fun. Yes. It was a lot of fun this weekend. I had a blast this weekend. This was, honestly, if I'm thinking about it, this was probably the most fun in an Arnold I've ever had. Really was. It was chill. It was fun. I got business done. I got work done. Got to watch all of the shows. It was a good time. Got photo shoot in. Like, it was a really good time. It's 8 degrees in Orlando. There you go. Yes, no damn money at the Project A booth. Yes, you did. You did, Shanika. He has to get snowed in. I know, right? Snowblower for that. We don't have a snowblower. That's why I'm saying I don't want snow. No snow. We haven't needed a snowblower. So now we're gonna have to get one. Oh my goodness. You guys have only seen one shot from my photo shoot, by the way. Which, by the way, that one, the photographer put it up while I was at the bar, and I'm sitting there and I see this thing pop up on my Instagram. I was like, literally, my reaction was, "Oh damn!" I was like, "That's me." I was so excited. I was like, "Yay!" So you guys haven't even seen all the other sets that we did. So I haven't either. So I'm excited to see all that stuff. He said that he's working on them now. So he just got home yesterday or last night at 1 a.m. or something like that. So I'm waiting to get all my other pictures back from him. But yeah, I can't wait. So I was really excited to get that. I got that one picture. I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "I look good." That's 40, you guys. That's what bodybuilding can do for you when you're 40. right there. Just saying. The pictures really. Thank you. Yeah, it came out really, really good. We got some really. So I never worked with him before, but he does a lot of really like exaggerated twists and turns and stuff to really get your curves to pop. Holy crap! I was sore the day after. Oh my god, it was worse than any posing session I have ever done in my life because he had me twisting so much. But the pictures were worth it. So the pictures were worth it. Pain was worth it. It works. It works. I will put up with the pain for the pleasure. You know what I mean? So it was really good. But anyway, yeah. So I've been just kind of just bullshitting here for a little bit. We're on almost an hour. No big deal. It was a lot of fun. It was a really fun Arnold. Glad I got to see so many of you guys there and just experience the whole thing. And again, I don't know if Devin's still on here, but Devin looked incredible, and it was really cool to be able to see her get up there and perform on that stage too. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and like I said, going back thinking about it, like personal wise, professional wise, all of that stuff, I think this was probably the best Arnold we've ever been to. So it was good. It was a really good way to start the year. It was a really, really good way to start the year. So excited to see how we go through the rest of this year, right? Now I'm going to actually let you guys go because we're just sitting here talking and bullshitting. We do this for hours. So I'll be back here again tomorrow with a preview of the Boston Pro, and we'll see you guys here at 8:15. Same thing. We'll do the live stream here on Instagram and on YouTube. So we've got about half and half with you guys on each platform. So that's great. So let's just keep that up. Let's keep going with it. And I'm going to end out YouTube first. There we go. And